Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be making a brief tutorial on how to make working vault doors in Fallout 4 using the creation kit. I feel like vaults are one of the most iconic things in the entire series, and it's kind of confusing to put them together, although it's not that difficult. This is a sample I put together that demonstrates the level of special effects that we will be creating in this tutorial. Sorry there. One thing that you'll notice is that the lights dim down, a buzzer starts playing, and what are called Klaxon Lights in the game files start spinning, although they're actually more beacon lights. Klaxon is kind of a horn sound, not really a light, but anyways, it works. Ignore all this stuff. This is my testing cell in the mod that I'm making. It does take a while to open, but that's because the animation also plays with the gear door opening thingy swinging on the inside in case you're coming out. That does not play if you do not have the DLC. But we come in here and you can see I have my custom material swap on it, and I will not be covering that in this video. But it's actually pretty simple to make. Just look up some material swap videos. But we see everything reset once the door finished opening, and there's another control panel on the inside that will close it. And there's another special effect on the inside, and that is the strobe light. There's only one vanilla vault that utilizes the strobe light, and that's Vault 111, but I feel like it adds on some nice character to the whole thing. So I really do like the strobe light, and it's, again, not that difficult to add on. So I am going to close out of this, and we will get started with the actual tutorial. So, the first thing we need to do is start with all of our location reference types. They are under world data. And one thing I'm going to stress now is prefixes. Use prefixes. You see, like here, there's BOS for Brotherhood of Steel, and all these quest prefixes. It makes everything so much easier to find later. I usually give my own things the prefix rsmod for random shrub and then mod with an underscore, so I can just type that into the filter and get all of my items immediately. I highly suggest that you do the same thing. But first we'll start with saving a blank file. I actually loaded if we go into data, I have all kinds of mods, but we have the DLC Workshop 03, I highly suggest having it. I will talk about that later. And Fallout 4. So once you load that up, save the plugin file before you add anything on, and I'm just going to call this Vault Workshop Demo. And it is that simple. But sadly, the other stuff is not quite that simple. But it is, you'll see. So we're going to start with your prefix, and then disable on open and LCRT for location reference type. So you're going to apply this to anything you want to disable when the vault door begins opening, like the lights, for example. And we're going to do this a couple more times. Let me put in my filter there. So just like the last one, we're going to have an enable on open. There is also the Klaxon light. They have to have their own script, so sadly we can't just make them an enable. There is the Vault Door Console 01, because you might want two door consoles, one on the outside, one on the inside. And then 02. And the last thing is the actual gear door itself. Okay, that wasn't that difficult, was it? Okay, so now we have keywords. These help us to locate things and link things together in the scripts. So those are under miscellaneous. And we're going to create a new keyword. And don't worry about anything else here. It's all optional. It doesn't really affect operation. And we're going to call this the Klaxon Light link. So now we have to get the location for our vault saved frequently. Creation Kit likes to crash. Expect it to crash while you are working on stuff. So if you have a cell picked out, the location that you want to use, take note of it, is simply this here. You can find all of your locations under world data, not world objects. And you can see I have none, but they're all under there. And that's if there's already a cell there, but if you're using your own cell, I'm actually going to make my own. Right-click down here and click Edit. It's also in World Cells. And then you can right-click and go to New. And sadly, you can't have underscores and cell names. It removes them. But I'm going to call it the Demo Cell. And for lighting data, just choose a template. There's some nice Institute lighting templates that are pretty bright. And now, oh no, I forgot to make my location. So I'm going to call it the RSMod Demo Cell location. And I'm not sure whether that name really shows up or not, but just name it the same thing as your cell. So now I go down here, and yeah, my own thing hasn't showed up there yet. But we find this, and go back into Edit, and now if we redo it, yes, it's right there. So perfect. That's all done. There is our cell. Let's load our cell. And contrary to your belief right now, we're actually not going to put anything in the cell. We're going to go to Character and then Quest. We have to make a handler quest that links everything together. So I'm going to name it the RSMod Vault Door Handler Quest. And the name never shows up in the game. You can give it something for your own reference. But it doesn't matter. I know what priority does. It's when you have dialogue and stuff, but we're obviously not going to have that. I'll just give it a number in case. And the most important part, possibly, of this whole thing is to check Allow Repeated Stages. If you do not check that, this will not work at all. At least for opening and closing the vault door. If your door is only going to open once and never going to close, you can leave that unchecked. I actually suggest that more. But if you want your door to be like of a workshop where you return frequently and close and open it, then you definitely want to have that checked. Okay, so click OK, and then go back and edit, because Creation Kit is weird and will not let you do everything. You see, now we have all these more menu items. So we need to add all of our aliases, the different references. So first we need to get our location that we just made. So let's call this the vault door location. And we just go to specific location and then find the location you made or the location of the cell you're using. And in case you don't know already, you can start typing in here and it will search for you. You can do that in most items. And then, okay, we're done there. The next reference alias is going to be the vault door console, and be patient with these. They take forever to load. It is pretty annoying. Okay, so I do like to make these optional, since you might only be using one, and it will kind of freeze up the scripts if they're not optional and they are missing. And we're going to call this Vault Door Console 01. And choose your location, and then filter for your own, and find your Console 01 location reference. Then we're done with that. It's that simple. We make another one for the second vault door console. Oh, 02, not a 01. Vault door console 02. And this one especially you want to make optional because you're probably not going to be using the second console if you don't have a first console. Next we have the door itself again. So vault gear door. And you can really name these whatever you want. It's just a lot easier if you kind of name them all uniform with the same prefixes. Vault gear door. And this should obviously not be optional, because if you're making a vault door, you kind of want a door, I'm assuming. Okay, so now we have to make the Klaxon Lights. I think I clicked the wrong thing, so we're going to have to wait for this twice. Yeah. For this one, instead of new reference, we're going to reference collection, because there are going to be multiple Klaxon Lights. So we're going to name this Klaxon Lights. No, not like that. Okay, and then this will be how many items there are. If you leave it as 1, only 1's going to work. So I'm going to put in a number like 20. You're probably never going to use that many, but it's good to have the extra, I believe. So now we go back in here, and we go to our Klaxon Light location reference. But this one, it's not done that simple. We do need to put in a script. So this is kind of dumb sometimes. It takes forever to filter. It always filters for your first letter before it fills in anything else, and then it freezes because there's so many forms. And sometimes, yeah, there's not even a new script button, so we have to click OK, and then go back in here and click Edit. And then it takes another 5 hours to open it. And now, if we go to Add Script, there should be an option to add a new script. But no, there's not. Never mind. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay, I figured out how to make it work. You're gonna want to click OK on your quest, and once again save just in case. And then go back into Edit. You have to close and open the window again, the entire quest window. Like, this creation kit is so poorly designed. Sometimes I doubt Bethesda really even used it. Then new script shows up. Don't even bother filtering. I'm going to name this rsmod Klaxon Light script. And I'm actually going to give it an O2 at the end, because my other mod has the original Klaxon Light script. Okay, so we're done with that. Here's our script, and we're going to want to go into Edit Source on the right-click menu. And this will be pasted in the description. I suggest pasting it for there instead of typing, but I am going to... No, I can't copy and paste mine. It's on a different monitor. A different computer, that is, not just a different monitor. So, forgive me for typing forever. What if I actually just pause this? Okay, I filled in my little script here. Make sure you save it before you close it, because it does not auto-save. It will give you a warning if you change something, and try not to change it. But now we have to go into our script properties, and you filter for your prefix. This is where the prefixes come in handy. And you just fill in your Klaxon Light Link keyword, just like that. All done. Perfect. And you might have to make this allowed disabled. Just in case, we'll check it. I don't think it'll really affect anything performance-wise. And now that we have that done, up to Klaxon Lights, we have to have a reference collection. Again, this is the collection, not just a reference. And this one is going to be our disable on open items. And once again, fill that with however many you need. You can give yourself some extra room. And we're going to go to vault door location, your prefix, disable on open. And it's that simple. And the things that are disabled on open are not going to be disabled initially. So we don't have to check anything here other than optional. And that's it. So another reference collection. And it's going to be just like the disable on open, except we have to allow disabled items, because if it's enabling them on the open, they're going to be starting disabled. So we go back to our vault door location and find our enable on open. And I do believe that is everything. And that is actually our last reference, and we don't want to lose all of those. So close out, save again, and then go back into edit. Save frequently, I will keep reminding you of that. Okay, so add, and we're going to want to make a new script. Oh, I completely forgot to say what we're doing. This quest has a script. Go to the scripts tab, and then click add, and once again, new script. So I'm going to call this RSML vault door handler quest script. Just like that. And if for some reason it doesn't autofill quest int for extends, make sure it extends quest, because we're not like extending anything else. Okay, so I do have, go into edit source, I do have this here, and you are going to want to copy this from the description. There is just so much there. And when you save it, oh no, it failed. Oh great. I probably gave it a wrong script name. Yes, that should not be there. Okay. That will not be in the description. That is my own problem. Okay, so you can see it was completely successful there. If we go into properties, it should be able to autofill these. Yes. So just go through these and click autofill. Oh no, that one failed. But that's because these are new items that I was testing out. They do not work. I will clean those out of the description version as well. You won't have to worry about those. And this you have to fill in on your own. Filter and just your Klaxon Light link. This one should also autofill. This one and gear door should definitely autofill. And this one did not autofill. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. Everything is filled in, and that is our script done. So let's go back over to stages. We have to make our quest stages now. So we are going to make the stage any number you want to. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use 10 and 12. And I would like to make that a 12, please. Thank you. Okay, so go to New under Log Entry. And you can add a designer note for whatever you want. It just helps you. So let's just say Control Console 1 was activated by the player. And we're going to have to add a script to this as well. So make sure you set your KMY quest to the only thing that will show up if you did everything else right. And go to type KMY quest dot console used. We're accessing that Boolean variable. And set it to, no, that's not a Boolean, never mind, but I thought it was, but it isn't. Doesn't matter, I just called it that. And then we're going to want to toggle gear door. And one thing I didn't explain was whether you have the Vault-Tec DLC or not. If you don't have it, this toggle gear door function is not going to work at all. You're only going to be able to open the gear door. That's the only function supported by non-DLC vault doors. So you would just type open gear door. And that should work. Let's just make sure I'm not wrong. I am wrong. Okay, it's not a function or it does not exist. So open gear door. Yeah, it really doesn't exist, does it? Let's go through here. It does exist. It exists right there. Okay. What am I doing wrong? Open gear door. It's right there. Let's try. I wonder if nothing is working. That could always be true. Oh, I forgot. I'm dumb. We need to put KMY quest there. Okay, so like I said, if you don't have the DLC, you're going to go with open gear door because that's all you can do. But if you do have the DLC, you can use toggle. And that is everything we need to do. And just copy this, compile again. It never hurts to compile it 1,000 times. And do the same thing here. Activated a console 2. My spelling was terrible there, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. And change that to a 2. We failed again because there's no KMY quest. Make sure you set that. Same condition here with the open gear door, and then compile it when you are done. And that should be all we need to do for this. So now we're moving on to actually placing the items. Save again. So once you're in your cell with the area you want to build your vault in, you're going to start dragging things in. I am not going to cover much of that besides the items that you need, so I'm going to pause this and build a cell. Okay, I am back with this little dumb looking cell that I built, and right now we have to drag in our items. So the vault gear door is going to be under activator, and you can search for it like this, gear door, and it's just VLT, not a full vault. And if you have the Vault Tech DLC, for sure, you need to use DLC 06. That's the only one that supports both opening and closing. So just line that up wherever you want to put it. I'm not going to be too precise with it. I suggest using Vault Gear Door 01 if you are not using the DLC. But keep in mind that that door will only be able to support the opening sequence. As you can see in the animations, it opens here. Let's turn that way up. So the vault is open, and there is no closing, which sucks. It's quite sad. It's kind of lazy on Bethesda's part, but we can see the DLC 06 Vault Tech DLC gear door does have a closing animation. You can, if you're good at animating, you can try to add in your own and do it that way, but I'm not going to mess with that. So here is our Vault gear door. So right click on it and click edit, or double click on it, either works. And if you want to add in your own vault number, you need to look into creating a material swap for these. I'm not going to cover that, but this is where everything's going to show up. So this is the Vault 111 pre-war. We're just going to use that for now. And then go all the way over to, if I can get my finger on the right thing, not that far, location reference type. And once again, filter for your thing and choose Vault Gear Door. That's where the prefixes are extremely handy. Okay, and that is all we need to do with the Vault Gear Door. Next, we need to drag in at the Klaxon Lights we went to use. So we have the Klaxon Light 01, which is not an activator. It's probably a movable static, yes. And that's the rotating beacon part of it. It does not actually have any lighting effects. It just spins around and does nothing, which is why there's going to be 2 parts of it. So you can put in as many of these as you want, rotate them around, that sort of thing. We don't have to do anything with those right now, just remember that they exist. Okay, so now we're going to get Klaxon Light Glow NS. I don't know what that stands for, but it is a light. It's an animated light. I don't know what the difference between the DLC 06 one is and this one, but I personally trust this one more. So go ahead and line this up with your Klaxon Light. I am not going to spend time doing that right now. You're going to want to spend more time getting that perfect, but for purposes of demonstration, I'm just going to roughly estimate. I'm not sure if it should go around the bottom or the middle. I'll let you guys play around with that. We'll see it in game in a couple minutes. So now you're going to go onto the glow. Make sure you get the glow and not the light itself. And we're going to go to our location reference type, which should already be open, and choose our Klaxon Light LCRT. And that's not the only thing. We need to go to linked reference, new, and we can select and render window, double click on the light, the rotating beacon part, the Klaxon Light, not the item itself. And the keyword we're going to use is the keyword we created, the Klaxon Light link. And press OK. And I think, yes, this one is initially disabled. Needs to be initially disabled. So now we're going to complete the same process with this one here. You're going to do this for as many of them as you want. No, we don't want that keyword. That's not what I meant. Okay, that's better. Initially disabled, and location reference type of our Klaxon Light location reference. So both of those are set up. That's it for those. Now is the slightly more time-consuming part. We need to find, this is activator, furniture. It's furniture, not an activator. NPC, vault, console, activate. Drag that in. This is going to handle the cool Pip-Boy animation. Make sure it's on the floor. It really doesn't have to be, but it obviously looks to break physics a little bit less. We don't have to do anything with that besides look at it and admire it. We're going to go into our vault door console itself now, which is an activator. No activate is like a static version of it. If for the vanilla game, if your vault door is only opening or only closing, you can put one on the inside that does nothing. And do your best to line that up with your furniture there. Hint, if you go into 3D data, it is definitely a 45-degree angle. No, it's not. Actually, it's negative 45. It'll vary based on the direction of things. And try to get it lined up as best you can. Like, that actually doesn't look too bad right there. No, it does look too bad. Okay, that looks pretty good. You're probably going to want to be more specific, like match up your decimal points and stuff like that, or eliminate the decimals. I like doing that, working with zeros. But there's no easy way, cheat, to line those up. It's pretty overcomplicated. So now we're going to go into our console, not the furniture. If you select the guy sitting, you can even just hide him for now. No, actually don't do that. Sorry. Right-click on the console, the actual textured part. And you're going to want to use the linked reference, not linked from. That doesn't really do anything. And select your orange guy, and it should say that. So this one is not a keyword that we made. It's going to be vault. No, it's not going to be vault. It's going to be link, vault, door, console, furniture. So that's there, and it's perfect. So now we have to go over to our script. And it's a default script. Double-click on it or click and go to Properties. Set your vault door handler quest with your prefix. And stage to set. Remember, we use 10 and 12. So that does mean, indeed, you can do this twice, except with your second vault door console, your reference is... Oh, sorry, I just froze up there. I did something wrong. In here, with your second console, you're going to set that to 10, and my notes do not say this, but I know you have to do it, or things aren't going to work. You have to choose your vault door console 01, and if that was your second console, you would make it 02. I'm not going to cover two consoles in this, because it's pretty simple, just make two. And if, let's say you want to make something else open that door, let's get a trigger box here. The default set stage trigger. Okay. We'll drag that over in like the corner or something. And I almost think these things disable themselves, but I'm not sure. Oops, that will not work. Okay. And stage to set. Let's just go with 10. No, 12. It'll pretend that it's console 2. And, okay. We're gonna set this to false. Perfect. Alrighty. So now we have a trigger box over there that should work the same as this, except this has a fancy animation before it opens anything. And we're going to have a sample, enable, and disable item. So let's get a default light. And make sure we can actually see it. Press A, and let's make it really insanely and obviously bright. So we will absolutely know if it goes off. Let's turn the fade up to like 10. You have to press OK to see it. Yeah, that's pretty bright. We will see that. Go to location reference type again, and we're going to actually disable this on open. And let's find another light. Let's put a light over here on this side of the world. If I can select it. This thing is so big. No, I want to drag it. Okay, we'll put it over there. In this one, we will start as initially disabled. I'm going to get rid of that. And it's going to enable itself on open. So now we have 2 of those. You can press Alt-1 to unhide things. All things, that is. And there's also strobe lights you might want to add. Strobe. No, it's not in there. I'm a failure. I will get back to you on the strobe lights later. But let's see how all of this works. So save, don't forget to save. And I'm going to pause this and come back when the game is running. Sorry, my microphone was disabled there. That explains the awkward silence. Quick tip, when you make a new plugin, it is not enabled by default. So make sure you go into your favorite mod manager and enable it before you launch your game. Okay, so while I was gone, I cut myself on a safety pin, so I rate them very, very safe. But I did look into the strobe lights. I had to load my other mod, but we're just going to go with strobe 01 flash, strobe light 01 flash. We'll just drag that right in there, like that. And we're going to want to move it somewhere where we can actually see it, because that light over there might wash it out. And I like to hide the gear door when I'm working because of how big it is. But move this right over here. We'll put it right above the control panel. Can't be more obvious. And it's going to be initially disabled. And, oh my, we have all these duplicates because of my other mod being loaded. Alright, it took a year or 10, but I unloaded my other mod, so we should have less trouble with this. And I will drag our strobe light 01 flash back in here, and all of our duplicates are definitely gone. So enable on open, initially disabled. Don't check that, I accidentally did. Okay, just like that, that's there. So now we have to make our sound marker. So let's duplicate one already there. Search for Klaxon. We're going to duplicate the generic Klaxon marker and give it your own name. rsmod vault Klaxon sound marker. And we don't want to use that one. There's a different one we want to use. I forget what it's called. We'll filter for sound descriptors and find... that's the one there. I thought that one was wrong. Well, let's just go with it for now. Yes, create a new form. And we'll drag that right in. It's also initially disabled, and we're going to want to enable it on open. So save, and then I will, there's no we here, see you in game. Okay, to get into your cell, just type COC and then the name of your cell, right from the main menu. And it will take a second to load, a second more for me because I'm on my laptop. And you will be randomly placed in your cell. So here we are. You will see if I walk into this trigger I put over here, the sequence will actually start. I don't hear the klaxon horn or see the strobe light, but you can see the other stuff is working. No, that's not working either now, is it? Well, just for my defense here, that this was all working. Actually, you can faintly see a strobe light. No, it's from that. I am going to figure out what just happened, because I ran a test before I started the video, and literally everything was working, and it all just stopped. Let's try doing this again. You can also do it from here. It will open and close the same way. Yeah, no difference. Alright. Well, let me see what is happening. Okay, I found the problem with this. It was a silly little problem that all of you might have gotten right. I think I remember setting this, I might not have, but in your Vault Door handler quest on the Enable on Open, make sure you set your max initial fail count to what you need it to be, and check optional. I thought I definitely did that and said something about it multiple times, but I'm not really sure. But make sure that's there, or otherwise your things are not going to work. Alright, I did indeed get everything to work. It is for sure working now. I already opened it to test it. Ignore the numbers and message boxes that are going to come up. I put them in for debugging purposes, and they were quite helpful. But you'll see now, if I use this console, the vault door is going to close. I'm saying that for certain. After we get all these messages. You can hear our buzzer. You can see the door closing, the light switched. Klaxon lights are running. The strobe light does not work, I don't believe. I believe what we're seeing is a flickering from inside that. I'm not sure what's wrong with the strobe lights. I had this problem when I made my mod initially. I will look into that. I'll put it in the description if I figure it out. But, I hope this helps anyone watching figure out how to make a vault door, since it's simply complex, to put it as best as I can. It's not really obvious the stuff you have to do, and dissecting it, there's so many different tabs and things happening and animations playing. It's hard to see what's happening. But I hope this helped clarify some things, and I really do hope it helps. Alright, thank you, everyone, and good day.